me to tell people to take their seats soon? Okay, so do you want me to read this, ladies and gentlemen? The ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. Okay. Do you want me to? Oh, do you want me to read that?
Yeah, you let everybody kind of get, out of that room and see if you can start getting it.
All right. Good morning, everybody. If you could all please find your seats and please make sure all cell phones and other devices are silenced. Our hostesses are available to help you to your seat if you have any questions. A little breezy. We good? All right. And is he right there? We're just waiting on a few more folks to join us. Sorry, guys. Good morning. Good. Good to see you. All good. All good. Good. All right. I think we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, coming down to our favorite place that we all love to work. The weather lucked out this morning. It's not too chilly, a little breezy. I'm Dr. Kate Brody. I'm a senior research oceanographer here and also serve as the technical manager of the Field Research Facility, which is part of the U.S. Army Engineer Research and Development Center, or ERDC FRF, as we like to call it. So at this time, I'd like to ask that you please stand for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. So thank you all for joining us today as we celebrate the completion of our research and laboratory facility Annex. I know I speak for the entire staff here when I express my gratitude for everyone's support in making this building a reality. We are so excited to have this new space to support our ever-expanding team, our instrumentation and research focus areas at a time when military littoral operations are really at the forefront of the DoD's focus. So at this time, I'd like to welcome all of our special guests, as well as the Corps of Engineers and ERDC team members joining us virtually during our live broadcast. So joining me on the program today include Dr. David Pittman, the ERDC Director, Dr. Ty Wamsley, the ERDC Coastal and Hydraulics Laboratory Director, Ms. Erin Durba, the Coastal, where are you? Over there. Sorry, the Coastal Observation and Analysis Branch Chief. And I'd also like to recognize our other distinguished guests in attendance today. So the Honorable Bruce Jetty, who served as the Assistant Secretary of the Army Acquisition, Logistics, and Technology several years back when we first started the approval process for this facility. Mr. Harrison Walker and Mr. Trey Lewis, representing the office of U.S. Senator Tom Tillis. Ms. Leslie Ginsky, representing our Congressman, Dr. Greg Murphy. Brian Pierce, the North Carolina Department of Military and Veteran Affairs. Colonel Retired Dennis Lewis, representing the North Carolina Department of Commerce. Command Sergeant Major Retired Bob Burton, the North Carolina Military Business Center. Dr. Elizabeth King Doonan from DevCom Army Research Laboratory. And our other partner state and local agencies such as the National Security Innovation Network. We'd like to also welcome our community officials. And on behalf of the Savannah District, Steve Blanchard, Doug Saxon, Terry Brooks, Parker Sherrod, and their team. Al Chesson, representing AR Chesson Construction. And our ERDC team, both present and retired. We have Drs. Mayan McKenna and Dr. Matthew Farthing, our U.S. Army Senior Research Scientist here today. Colonel Chris Patterson, the ERDC Commander. Jeff Eckstein, the Chief of Staff. Dr. Carrie Talbot, Flood and Storm Protection Division Chief. Mr. Kurt Mason, who was the first director located here at our field research facility, and his daughter, Michelle. Bill Berkmeyer, FRF retiree, and Dr. Jeff Waters, retired Coastal Observation and Analysis Branch Chief. Mr. Lon Pribble is also here, our ERDC Director of Legislative and Interagency Science and Technology Programs, and Dr. Caitlin McGuire, the ERDC Research Program Liaison. We'd also like to thank Nick Boone and the ERDC Military Engineering Technical Director's Office. And from the Installation Operational Command, Sissy Hudson, Chief Business Support Division, Mary Margaret Edney, Chief Public Affairs, and Rick Pollitt, Chief ERDC Logistics Management Office. Finally, we'd like to thank our dedicated team of researchers, technicians, and staff here at the facility and extend a virtual welcome to our ERDC Deputy Director, Dr. Beth Fleming, and other ERDC laboratory directors, as well as ERDC leadership who could not be here today. And finally, I'd like to invite Ms. Erin Durba to share a few remarks.
Thank you, Kate. And thank you all again for taking the time to join us today. I know it's a little chilly. It's a pleasure to be here for this event, and I recently came on board and have thoroughly enjoyed meeting everyone on the team and getting settled in. And if I haven't had a chance to meet each of you yet, I hope you'll take the time to introduce yourselves to me so I can thank you in person. I appreciate the warm welcome everyone has given me thus far, and I'm thankful for the expanded capabilities this annex will bring. And we look forward to working with the team as the facility continues to grow, and we do intend to grow. So at this time, it's my honor to introduce Dr. David Pittman. He's the director of the ERDC. Dr. Pittman.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's a nice chilly day here in Duck, North Carolina. I'm manning up. I didn't put my big jacket on here, so I'll try to talk a little faster. And thank you, Erin. I just met Erin just right now. She's that brand new. So, Erin, you're doing a great job. So far, so good. You haven't broke anything yet. And thank you, Kate, for a great introduction. Appreciate it. Yeah, so we ordered this weather, especially for y'all. The wind would slow down, we'd be okay. But anyway, I want to thank all of you for being here today. This is a very special day in ERDC history, of course. We got a brand new facility. This is it right behind us. There's the old one. Here's the new one. $4.5 million, something like that, over the last few years. So we got a lot of thank yous to go out there. I want to thank right up front, by the way. Where's Sarah Robinson? Sarah? There, she's right there. So, these things don't happen by themselves. She sees our programs, VE, Visitor and Events Chief, puts these things together. So thank you, Sarah, for a great job here. So I want to talk a minute about partnerships. So I'm part of the Army Corps of Engineers. Everybody who works here, we got Savannah District here somewhere. Yeah, there you are right there. We're all part of this thing called the Army Corps of Engineers. And we don't do anything without partnerships, okay, and without partners. That mutual respect and trust between people to get mutually beneficial effects done. And so we're $91 billion in the Corps now and growing. 35,000 people, worldwide mission, 42 districts where the real work gets done, all this stuff that we put down in the ground all over the world. Civil Works mission, 55 billion out of 91 billion. Military programs, that's 35 billion out of 91 billion. And then you got this third big mission called R&D. That's us. 2,500 people, 2 billion, headquartered in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Started in 1929 after the Great Flood of 1927. We've been around a little while. This place has only been around since 1977. Right, Mr. Mason? He started it right here. This is the original facility. So this facility, a third of a mile pier. If you haven't been on the pier, you think it's cold here? Walk out there. It's going to be really cold. So built in 1977, and now we're adding a significant amount to it. But I want to thank our partners here today by name. We call the names out, but I want to kind of specially recognize them today. So we have partners from Congress. So you heard Senator Tillis, his team's here today. So we thank them. They give the money. Okay, nobody does things without money. And we got Congressman Murphy's representative here today, I think. Yeah, very good. Yes, very good. There you go. There you go. Thank you, ma'am. Thank y'all very much. We got state representative this morning. I ate breakfast with Colonel Lewis, right there. There he is. He took his tie off at my request. We got Mr. Pierce here today. Where's Mr. Pierce? Right there. Yep. Yes, sir. We're going to be good partners. We already are. We got local and community leaders here. I met a few this morning. I'm sorry I don't have all your names, but we live in communities, we work in communities, and we cannot do anything without being good partners with our communities. We've got our other Army labs here. ERDC isn't the only lab in the Army. We like to think so sometimes. We have other labs in the Army. So we got something called the Army Research Office. It's actually headquartered here in North Carolina, and she is here today. Dr. King Noonan. Where's she? All right, Doonan. Sorry, I messed that name up. There she is. There she is. I just met her. So we've got this. I said, everybody, most people work in the Corps of Engineers in their districts, okay? That's where the real work gets done, putting dirt and concrete in the ground. They built this thing. The Savannah District, okay, one of 42, very select group. So we have some people here today who actually built this thing. And I'm going to call some names out. I know not everybody's here, but Troy's not here. Steve is here. There's Steve right there. Doug is here. Doug's right there. Terry's here. Terry's here. And Parker's here. The tall one. There he is. That's right. Electrical engineer, by the way. So anyway, fantastic team in the Corps of Engineers to build this thing. And then we got our contractor. Where's Mr. Chesson at? There he is. He actually built this thing, okay? My daddy was a contractor. I grew up with my daddy building small, not stuff this big, okay? We built small box culverts, and I was tying concrete and steel and all that when I was 15 years old. So I like to build stuff. So thank you for building a fantastic facility here. All right, I'm going to call out a few names here. Special recognition. So Aaron, I think it was, or maybe Kate said Dr. Jetty is here. What an appropriate name for somebody to come on the coast and talk about Dr. Jetty. It's not spelt that way, though. Anyway, Dr. Jetty, he's like a 4-star retired equivalent guy, okay? He was Assistant Secretary of the Army for Acquisition, Logistics, and Technology. That's a mouthful. But what that means is he was head of all of Army's R&D, all of our S&T. So he approved research that's being conducted right now in this facility. He was in charge. So sure, you might not have recognized that, and you probably didn't realize a few years later you're going to show up somewhere and see some of this good work. And you were in the building, by the way, when this thing got approved. So thank you, sir. So his story is, this is, I don't know if it's true, but that messes up a good story, okay? So he was in Hawaii with his wife. Now, most people who go to Hawaii with their wives, significant others, whatever, they're looking at the beach, looking at the waves, enjoying the, all this, and they're thinking about relaxation. He's looking at the waves, and he's thinking about physics, okay? Only a scientist would do that, right? Or engineer. So anyway, he connected with us, and he's here today. And sir, this is ground zero for thinking about physics when you look at waves, okay? So thank you for being here, sir, today. So I want to call out Lon Pribble. Where's Lon? Right there. So Lon Pribble is the man, okay? He's ERDC, he's on the ERDC team, but we have just spiraled in the last 20 years on our infrastructure, our programs that we do today. And Lon, it was critical to that whole step all along the way. And not just this facility, we've grown a lot in all of our facilities. And Lon had to learn how to do Milcon. He had to learn all these processes. So Lon, thank you especially for what you've done for ERDC and what you did here. Where's Jeff Waters? There's Jeff. Okay, so Jeff was the branch chief here before Aaron took over, okay? So Jeff, when he got here, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that, Jeff, he grew this place from, it was good, but he took it like he doubled the size. He doubled the staff, doubled the program, got a lot of military work going on. So Jeff, thank you, sir. Your legacy is solid, okay? Now, 2 people, okay, so I just met this gentleman 2 weeks ago. He sent me an email, Mr. Kurt Mason. So Mr. Kurt Mason, by the way, he sent me a picture. I got to show you his picture he sent me. So he was the original branch chief director or a leader out here, okay? So he sent me this picture in email. He sends this picture, and he says, hey, Dave, thank you for supporting what we do at the FRF. And I said, well, fine, sir. Who are you? He said, well, I started that place. Anyway, so that started email exchange. So here he is. I said, hey, could you put names in here? I want to brag on y'all a bit. So here's Kurt right here. You had darker hair back then. This is 77, okay? And this is real. You had hair. This is real. They still have this boat, by the way. And Mr. Bill Berkmeyer sitting right there. He's the tall guy here on the top of the boat. These guys did it. They started this place. And could you have imagined, sir, gentlemen, that this place would be what it is today? I'm sure you probably, maybe not. But look what you wrought here with your work. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was the vision. It was the vision and the work. He sent me a paper he wrote, by the way. If you want to know all about this place, he published this paper a few years ago. We got hard copies around here. We got copies of this picture. But thank you, and thank Miss Peggy, Bill's wife, and thank you, Michelle, for bringing your daddy here today. And we're going to take a lot of pictures and shake hands and look at new stuff. So I want to thank y'all. I want to talk about the Corps a little bit more because I'm also not just the director of ERDC, the labs, but I'm director of R&D for the chief engineer. So this chief is General Spellman. He's very visionary, by the way. He came chief about 2 years ago. He says, David, we've been around since 1775. George Washington, when he said, I got to win this war, 2 days in, he said, I need engineers. So he hired his engineer, and we've traced our roots back to 1775. So we literally helped build this country. We helped defend this country through many wars. And we're still here today. Got a bigger program than ever. So, but believe it or not, between that Civil Works mission, protecting our inland waterways and our shores and beaches and all that, $55 billion, our military programs and missions, all the stuff we do for the warfighter, and the R&D mission that we've had for at least since 1929, we never had a comprehensive R&D strategy. And I'm the R&D guy. So he looks at me, he says, David, we need a strategy. Because if we're going to change how the Corps does its thing, you know, we engineer solutions for the nation's toughest challenges. We need a new strategy. David, let's write a new strategy. I said, yes, sir. Job number one, write a new strategy. And I was going to have a copy up here. I don't know if Gus is here. But we got a brand new strategy. Google it. I got some hard copies I want to hand out here in a little bit. USACE R&D strategy. It's very visionary, and it identifies top 10 challenges in the nation that we're going to work on. First one, mitigate and adapt to climate change. This is big. Okay. Number two, win future wars. We're part of the United States Army. Number three, you know, extend the life of our infrastructure. We just passed $1 trillion infrastructure bill. Our infrastructure is crumbling around us. So it's that kind of stuff. Number four, support resilient communities. So everything that you hear there, the military, civil mission, doesn't matter. This facility supports that. Civil works, military, and everything. Yet a lot of that, particularly on the coastal effects, starts right here. So a little bit then on this facility itself, and I get out of here. So this facility is actually in the Guinness Book of World Records. We brag about that. We like to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. So it's in the Book of World Records because it's the longest continuous monitoring of waves, current, you name it, bathymetry, the beach, everything. It's been measured. This is the most measured place in the planet Earth, okay, particularly on coastal areas. And it's very famous for that. Guinness Book of World Records. This is international. So science is a team sport, okay? So internationally, this place is famous for what it's been doing since the 70s and now for what it's going to do for us in the future, no matter if it's our civil works mission or military. So I'm so proud to be here today to talk about a little point in our history right here at FRF. And this is the future. As Jeff and now Aaron will grow this place to do bigger and better things. I'm counting on you, Aaron, to do that. We're going to do it. Don't worry. And I'm so proud to be here today. So proud of our ERDC team. I'm very grateful for our partnerships that we have. I'm grateful for this facility. And I can't wait to see what we're going to do out here next in this fantastic research facility. So thank y'all very much. And I'm going to sit down and be quiet. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Dr. Pittman. So I think next up we have Dr. Ty Walmsley, our director of the Coastal and Hydraulics Laboratory.
All right, thanks everyone. Okay, so I grew up in the southernmost city in the continental United States, so I'm really cold right now. So I'm gonna accelerate this a little bit. Dr. Pittman hit a lot of the thank yous already, so I'm gonna just blitz through that. But this is an exciting day for ERDC and for the Coastal Hydraulics Lab, and I too would like to thank you all for being here on this very momentous occasion. As you know, and as you've heard, the FRF really is a special place, and one that the Army, the USACE, state of North Carolina, and the Outer Banks communities can be proud of. And with the opening of this facility, we have even more to be proud of today. CHL has a long history of supporting both civil works and military and the warfighter in the coastal and riverine environments. Our military support dates back to World War II and was vital in the planning of invasions in both the Pacific and the Atlantic theaters, including the invasion of D-Day. And our support to that continues today as evidenced by the completion of this facility. Our overall goal is to ensure that the area along the shore or the littoral region remains a region of overmatch for the Army, supporting all domain protection requirements. Historically, the U.S. has enjoyed clear superiority in this region, and in our recent conflicts, this domain has been largely uncontested. However, this paradigm is shifting, and most littoral operations in the future will likely occur in contested environments. And so we must be prepared to protect our forces. So while regions along the shore are a joint forces space, and the FRF has a long history of supporting our partners at the Office of Naval Research and the Naval Oceanographic Command in advancing the DoD's littoral capabilities, it's the Army who is in charge of moving our troops and equipment across this interface. Per the Army's Title 10 responsibility, we prepare the land for combat, including any necessary watercraft support. What that means is the Army needs to own the littorals from the 10 meter depth and shallower. It is our responsibility to the joint forces to have the capability to freely maneuver through this region, to bring what and who we need through when we need it safely and efficiently. And the CHL and ERDC is the perfect place to conduct this research, as we are the DoD's only coastal engineering research laboratory. And the Field Research Facility, as we all know, is the world's premier surf zone experimentation site and natural laboratory. As Dr. Pittman mentioned, we've been collecting continuous observations for over 40 years. And the data sets that have been compiled here and the techniques that have been developed have really formed the foundation of coastal science and engineering, and are really considered a national treasure, and an international treasure for that matter. So making our nation's coastlines safer and more resilient. So this new facility recognizes our dedication to the Army and DoD's joint littoral needs and endeavors to help solve one of the toughest challenges of operating along the shore, overcoming the threats that natural processes pose to operations. And so ERDC is committed to helping the Army promote overmatch in the littoral region by sensing, predicting, and exploiting the natural environment better than our adversaries across all stages of an operation. And so this building helps bring the full force of ERDC's field research facility to the table to solve this problem at a time when the focus on the Arctic and Indo-PACOM theaters is highlighting just how important it will be to win the littorals in future conflicts. And so over the last decade, based largely around military engineering's investment and Dr. Kate Brody's leadership here at the FRF in the arena of remote sensing technology, the researchers here have developed new expeditionary logistic capabilities and technologies that can support our warfighter at multiple echelons: strategic, operational, and tactical. And so I do want to pause and really emphasize the importance of Dr. Brody's leadership. You know, there's a lot of folks across the ERDC who have been a part of this, and there's a large team, and many of you are here today. But Kate and Dr. Brody is really the tip of the spear of the military support here at the FRF. She's been instrumental in building the FRF's military program, really from the ground up over the last 10 years. So Kate, on the behalf of Army, ERDC, myself, just a really big thank you for everything you've done, everything you are doing, and everything you will continue to do for ERDC, the Army, and the nation. And she's just such an important part of the mentoring of the people here, the building of the team. I just can't say enough of how grateful I am for Kate and her leadership. And so Dr. Pittman hit a lot of the things already, and we're all cold, although it is a lot better standing here in the sun. I'm starting to warm up a little bit. So, but Jeff Waters, Lon Pribble, you know, the securing the funding, the planning, the design, all that kind of stuff. Colonel Geary's awesome Savannah District team. We've already mentioned Steve and Terry and Parker, and I'm Doug as well. Good to see you again, Doug. So thanks to them, they've been great team members, and got us across the finish line. It's such a good day. And thank you also to the contractor. They've also been a great team member. So thank you, Mr. Chesson, to you and your team as well. And so finally, I'm just going to wrap up. I do want to just thank our incredible team of researchers, technicians, craftsmen, mechanics, all the other support folks here at the FRF. Most of them are kind of standing along the back there. You are what makes the FRF the world-class facility that it is today, and that it'll continue to be in the future. And it really is an honor to be your director. So thank you for everything you all do every day. And so with that, it's now my honor to welcome Trey Lewis from Senator Tillis's office to share a few words on behalf of the North Carolina congressional delegation.
Good morning, everybody. I promise you I will be brief. I promise. But thank you so much for the invitation to be here. It's an honor to be here on behalf of Senator Tillis, who, as of a couple weeks ago, is now the senior senator for North Carolina. And have got Harrison Walker here from our DC office. He's a legislative aide. And we're honored to be here. And it's a true pleasure to be here. And I've told several people already, but I have the helmet from this groundbreaking in my office. And it is quite a conversation starter when people come in. So I have brief remarks, a letter from Senator Tillis I just wanted to read. Dear friends, I am happy to extend my best wishes to everyone gathered to celebrate the Field Research Facility Annex ribbon cutting ceremony. While the Senate schedule prevents me from attending today's event, I would like to acknowledge this exciting milestone for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the positive impact it will have in our state. North Carolina has a rich heritage in research and development, and I applaud your commitment to progress, collaboration, and innovation. I look forward to hearing about your continued success and wish you all the best for a wonderful celebration. And if there's ever anything our office can do to assist you in any way, please reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so now it's time to get down to the business end of this ceremony and actually cut the ribbon. So I'd like to ask that those of you who are involved in the ribbon cutting ceremony, I think you know who you are, please follow me and we'll head over here to go ahead and cut this ribbon.
We'll give them just a few minutes to line up and get situated. You have to turn to your side. Squeeze in. All right. Is everyone ready? On the count of 3, we'll cut the ribbon. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, thank y'all again for coming. This will conclude the official part of our ceremony. I wanted to let you know if you're interested in a tour, you can come in the wet lab here. And Dr. Kate Brody, when she finishes with photos, will take you around through the new building to the pier and then to some of our facilities out here. If you don't want a tour but want to just kind of mill around, you're welcome to go out on the pier or check things out. On behalf of ERDC and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, we thank you all for coming and hope you have a great day.